Fear. What is it? And why is fear important to you as an athlete? It's important to you because if you don't learn to control it, if you don't learn to master the inner game, then fear will take over your performance. Fear will take over your training sessions. Fear will take over your motivation. Fear will take over your targets that you're setting for yourself. Fear is one of life's biggest killers. People don't dare do things. They don't commit in case they don't achieve it. And rather than trying to achieve something, they hold back. And this can happen on the netball court, the basketball court, a 100-meter sprint, the football pitch. Whatever sport, it can happen. If there's a part of you that doesn't quite believe in what it's doing, then you're going to execute a shot, and there's one part of you that's saying, we need to score this goal, I need to score this goal, and there's another part saying, yeah, but if you miss, then it ain't going to go so well for you. And that's when you don't quite commit. You're not congruent in what you're doing. Your performance becomes jerky. You have schemas, which are essentially movies of how you perform a skill that's stored in the cerebellum at the back of your mind. And then the motor cortex selects them depending on which situation you're in. And when fear comes in, those doubtful thoughts, when you have two warring parts, one part over here wants to really score this goal, one part really wants to commit and go for it, and this other part is trying to hold you back. And these parts can be beliefs, they can be opposing values. They're essentially neurological patterns. There's something that you have learned which has caused some kind of anxiety, which ultimately is fear. So why am I holding my spongy 2-pound friend again, the brain? And it's because in the middle of this brain, right in the middle, in around near this hypothalamus region here, deeper in there you have something called the amygdala, because within this hypothalamus, the amygdala and the limbic system, this is where you store all of your emotional memories. Every single event which has ever happened to you, you can access it all. The question is whether you can consciously do it or not. And it's in there. And the mind stores events. It stores them and then it generalizes them. So for example, just taking your performance, your mind will have a little filing cabinet, or hopefully a big filing cabinet of all your great performances. This is when I perform great. These are all of my great performances. And then it'll have another filing cabinet of your underperformances. And whenever you underperform, there'll be some part of you that goes, right, that was a bad performance today, and then it takes it, puts it in that file, downloads it, and it generalizes it. And it's the same with your better performances. This was a great performance, I nailed it today, I was really on point today. Again, that goes in that filing cabinet and is downloaded in there and is generalized. And what you really want to do is wipe out those ones, so that your performances, are not getting shoved over, even when you do play well, into this overgeneralized pattern of you underperforming. Because every time you start to doubt yourself, if this file is a lot bigger than this one, you think that you're underperforming more than that you're performing at your best, then if that file starts to get bigger, then that monster grows even bigger, that fear becomes even greater, that belief becomes even stronger, that neurological pattern becomes even stronger. But as I was saying, when fear kicks in, there's an emotional response. And ultimately, it's going back and triggering memories from the past. Last time this happened, last week, 2 weeks ago, or a year ago, the same thing happened. And then it's bringing up the past, bringing it into the future, and it creates the emotion. And the emotions are also created from within the body. Within the body, Yeah, you have your adrenal glands producing cortisol, testosterone is produced, adrenaline is produced, and this can set into play your freeze, fight or flight mechanisms, and you will never perform at your best whilst you're in a state of fear, whilst your freeze, fight or flight mechanism is kicked in. You need to get that turned off as soon as possible, because fear, this freeze, fight or flight mechanism, it will take over your performance. That schema that you have for executing all of your skills, that movie that you have for performing all of these different techniques that you have, that movie will become jerky. And as that movie is playing, it's almost as if somebody keeps pressing pause as you're about to do it. You better watch out here, is what your brain's saying. So the movie's playing of you how to execute a basketball free throw, and you know you have practiced for thousands of hours at this skill, and you know how to do it. But in the moment, maybe something happened, maybe you got an opposition over your shoulder there, trying to put doubt in your head, or you missed a couple of shots early in the game. Then if that doubt comes in, which is that fear, it will trigger the freeze, fight or flight mechanism. And as a result of this, adrenaline, cortisol, testosterone will start to flood the body, go up through the neurology, it will start to engage with the amygdala, turn on the limbic system, and again, the mind is always looking to the past. What is this scenario that I'm doing now similar to? It's looking for patterns, it's pattern recognizing all the time. It's trying to look for what's familiar so your mind can predict it and keep you safe. And if in that scenario, if you're taking this basketball shot, this free throw, and in the back of your mind, there's a part of you saying, I'm not good enough, I don't want to take this shot, then you will not execute that skill. You will not flow effortlessly through releasing that ball. It will be jerky, as I said. That movie in your mind that you've got of exactly how you perform that free throw, it's like that. Like the amygdala inside of your brain keeps pressing pause, stop. So instead of that movie being a nice, free-flowing, effortless, bright, colourful, clear movie of you executing this skill, it gets paused, it gets stopped, it becomes jerky, it becomes fuzzy, it becomes dim, it becomes darker, and that starts to create the doubt. The mind starts to play those tricks on you. So ask yourself, how is fear holding me back? Maybe it's not, and if it's not, that's absolutely great, because then you can progress on to developing other skills. But if you have moments where you start to feel pressure, where you start to feel nerves, when you start to feel anxious during, before, and even after, then that's some kind of fear, and you need to take control over it, and you need to go and find out what these patterns are. What are you saying to yourself? What do your images look like inside your mind in these moments? And you need to take control over it, because fear is one of the biggest killers to your performance. It's one of the biggest roadblocks to you achieving excellence. You will never achieve your truest potential if deep down you're scared to even get there. And you've got to develop the skills, the tools to master the inner game. And this is what I'm here for, to help people like you master the inner game, to make sure that you can turn fear off, to turn that fight or flight mechanism off. Because when you turn that off, then you can allow all of those subconscious programs that you have developed over the years in mastering the skill. Because when fear comes on, what happens to your focus? You go from divergent to convergent. It comes in, it's looking at everything right here, right now. And it turns off your peripheral vision. And that is not good, especially if you're a team sports player. Yeah? You need to be able to see what's going on in your peripherals effortlessly. But if fear has been turned on, then it will come in here, right now. If danger's right here, right now, you don't need to be looking over there, because it's right here. If there was a saber-tooth tiger in the room right now, you don't want to be having a look over there and a look over here. You need to be looking right at this saber-tooth tiger in the eye, because that thing could be about to tear you to pieces. And you need you might need to take action. The brain works in the exact same way when you're on the football pitch, the netball court, the hockey pitch, the swimming pool, wherever you are. It interprets danger in the same way, and it can interpret the thing that you love doing more than anything, i.e. playing your sport, as danger, if you've let the weeds grow inside of your mind. You must tend to the garden, the neurological garden inside of your mind, and work your way back through. You must spend time journaling, going through and finding out what are the things that are really holding me back. What am I really scared of? What am I really fearful of? Ask yourself these questions and then answer them. What am I really fearful of when I play sport? And then you'll get these answers. And then just take one of them to start with. Whatever answer you get, just let them come. Just keep going with as many of the answers that you can get, and then take one at a time. And then just say, and why is that important to me? Get an answer to that one. And ask the same question again. And why is that important to me? And then go again with that answer and say, and why is that important to me? And do that around 7 times. Once you go down that process of taking one of those answers and asking that question, and why is that important to me? Go down. Yeah, and eventually you're going to get to a root, a weed, a value, a belief, something which is holding you back in some way. And when you do this exercise, you will find this very empowering. So take some time after this video, get out your journal and start working on the inner game yourself. Start breaking down these neurological patterns that are holding you back. Take hold of those weeds, go inside your mind, and rip them out, and open your mind, and then plant new flowers, new neurological flowers, so that the brain is running for you, with you, and not against you. Because this brain, this 2-pound piece of neurological flesh, is your best friend. And you need to speak to it like it's your best friend, and you need to speak to yourself like you are your own best friend. And if you want to take this further, if you want to add an extra dimension to your game, if you want to cut corners, if you want to find out some of the real secrets to excellence, then get in touch. Drop me some comments below, email me, text me, ring me, go on my website, check out some more information, and I'm more than happy to arrange a 1-hour free consultation with you to find out your needs, your targets, your goals, and then you and I can take your game to the next level. See you soon.